If you have given your car a name, what is it? My family bought a pre-owned 2006 Toyota midsize SUV which became my daily driver. I call it the rust bucket as everywhere you look in the car, you'll always find rust and shoddy maintenance work. I used it for almost 6-7 years, the poor maintenance had been undone and was now in great condition, but despite our optimism it would last for a few more years. Its constant problems, most often the engine cutting out while driving, getting worse despite the semi-monthly maintenance, and the inability of Toyota, Denso, and other reputable shops to fix it, the problems forced us to sell it. Me and my family have named many cars. Daihatsu Charade was Dizzy named by my little brother after the concrete mixer and Bob the Builder. Holden Commodore was Hyacinthus and Bucket named by Mom. Toyota Yaris was Renard. I can't recall how that one came about, it may have been Dad naming that one. Husband's Audi 80 was Fräulein Gertrude aka Gertie. His Suzuki Swift is Swifty. Okay, that one wasn't original at all. My first car, Mitsubishi Lancer, is called Hetty. Our ill-fated Volkswagen Scirocco was called Shakira. She had hips and they didn't lie. Most of my cars have had names, but my favorite car I've had was my Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4 GTO. Way back on Gran Turismo 1, it was the most ridiculous car in the game and I always wanted to have one of my own. It took about a decade, but I found one in another city and my pal rode there with me to go get it. Thanks Keith! I finally had the car of my dreams, so I named her after my first crush according to my mom. I used to chase this girl around in preschool on scooters. Stella was her name and she was a fantastic car. She gave her life saving me in a crash. R.I.P. Stella! 1999 Volkswagen Golf MK4, 1.6 liters petrol engine. I called it the cat, as it never broke down on me. I had it for 12 years. I put it on mud, climbed mountains, got to rough terrains, even crossed the river with it. One time I drove approx 120 kilometers with very low oil engine. The real level off the oil could not be seen in the oil stick, that's how little oil was left. 2015 Volkswagen Tiguan 2.0 liters diesel engine, the bride. It's color inspired, as it is white, and I simply love the car. Also, it loves when it sucks the money out of me for maintenance and services. My first car was a white 2005 Honda Civic Hybrid called Shamu. When she got new tires, she got called Nushu Shamu to the tune of I am the walrus. I am the walrus. Nushu Shamu. After that car was totaled in a hit and run, I got my current car, which is the white 2003 Honda Civic Hybrid. It took me a while to come up with a name, so as a placeholder we were calling her New Shamu. New Shamu New Nushu Shamu New. My car is new. My first car was a dark grey Ford Fiesta from 2015. Worked in accountancy, so my first cars were leased. The grille looked so much like a fish mouth to me, so its name was Carb. My second car was an azure blue Mazda 2 from 2017 and it had a little fin like a tuna on top. So that one was called Dolphin. Notice the fish theme? Now I have a grey Volkswagen Golf and it doesn't really have a name. Somehow nothing fits with that one. My '06 Subaru is Eleanor. I'm a single free-spirited woman, and Eleanor and I have been through a lot together. She is covered in dirt, dents, and stickers of our travels, and a few lot left-leaning stickers as well. The inside is covered in the hair of my pup despite my constant efforts to vacuum on a weekly basis. I love my Subaru. Hopefully with the help of my great mechanics, she has a lot more left in her. Sometimes. My previous car, green Mazda 2, first time my friends saw it. Friend 1 Hulk? Friend 2 Nah, Kermit. You can probably guess which stuck. The black Clio before that was called Fex, just because those were part of the license plate. Before that I had a beat up Ford Sierra. The license plate started with PRT7XX, can't remember the last two numbers, so it ended up being called Party Finish Man name. My first car was a black Volkswagen Fox. It was falling apart and parts were super rare. It got patched together over the time I drove it. It was such a mess my friends started calling it the Antichrist. It lost the muffler one day and no one could find a replacement, so the mechanic put glass packs on it. I had people asking if that little car with the mayonnaise lit headlight was a diesel. I miss it so much. Current one is called Shizki's. It's the little fast Chezen as fuck cousin car. Well, I pretend it's fast, it's not, unless I'm screaming profanities, pray to the saint of travelers and have a red cat key hanger with me. Previous one was called Fjord. It was an European Ford Fusion. That tank climbed into trees, pulled out other cars out of the dirt and sounded like a wet fart on a Tuesday. First car had BLU in the plate, so I named her Bluey Black Mazda MX-3. Next was a BMW 5280, and I named her Mercedes for the irony. Next was a Mercedes E300, and I named her Misery. For several months the Blonde Redhead album Misery as a butterfly was stuck in the CD player whose controls didn't work, and the volume was randomly at either 5 or 100 each time I started the engine. I had a small Toyota pickup in high school. It acquired the name the Crime Truck because random stuff would seemingly manifest in the bed of the truck on a regular basis. So my friends and I determined that the truck would go out at night and commit crimes. Examples include a bunch of broken drywall and computer parts, a whole uncooked chicken, a window. Had a girlfriend who called her car Little Red. It was a small Triumph Spitfire, and she said it as red in its soul. But if you asked her what kind of car she drove, she could never name the brand or model, she just said a red one. I had a couple of Chevy pickups, called Old Blue, and later one called Old Red. They weren't the newest models. Absolutely, my red 2004 Oldsmobile Alera was Abby. I kept her till 2015 when I couldn't get her repaired, as Oldsmobiles were no longer made. And that was the only reason she was replaced. She had attitude. I ended up with a white Pearl 2015 Hyundai Elantra Limited, and her name is Bridget. She's not as sexy sassy, but she works for Now Wilson, like from Castaway or Wade Deadpool. It is red, looks like it's been through hell. Plus if it ever breaks down, honestly it's a miracle it hasn't already. Must be that healing factor, am I right? Haha, then I can reenact my best Tom Hanks and yell "I'm sorry Wilson" on the side of the highway. Honestly it's perfect. Second car 1966 VW. Little Milton, tall fans will get it. Third car 1970 Buick Skylark, 350 V8 4-barrel carb. I spray painted it with blue exterior house paint and a rotary at Blue Thunder. After the movie, all the remaining cars were nondescript. I know own a Tractlo Monte Al Thunder 2.0. I have a 20-year-old Jeep Grand Cherokee that is always full of computers and parts and tools and various bits of technology from jobs I have going on, which my friends bug me about when they get rides. The license plate begins with Jaw, so my friends call it the Jawa Sandcrawler, or just the Sandcrawler. Not really my car, but the only one I ever had a name for. My parents let me use their Renault Megane back in the days so I could drive myself to school. She was wonderful, got me from A to B without fault for a couple of years. She was lime green. Thus the name Lime Green Dream. Well, my cousins and I were arguing about what we would name my auntie's car recently. The three names we were arguing on was Gucci, Milano, and Car. Guess which one is mine? Haven't decided yet, but Car is very strongly in the lead right now among my family. 2006 CR-V Roxanne. Yes, I know that was Don Quixote's horse, but he's dead. Yes, I know it was John Steinbeck's camper, but he's dead. We have adventures and sometimes tilt at windmills. My destiny calls and I go. And the wild whims of fortune shall carry me onward. Subaru Outbacks are supposed to be lesbian cars? First Outback Ellen DeGeneres, second Martina Navratilova, and third a Crosstrek. Does it still count? Is Kate McKinnon? Note, not a lesbian. Son drives Martina and husband drives Kate. I had an old white Suburban with dark tint that I called Stormtrooper. I put an Empire window sticker on the back and hoped it would never hit anything. My wife has driven it like 4 times and backed into a parked car one of those times. Ours is Trixie because it runs on electricity. Our 3-year-old christened it Lowell. Before that, our car was Cruise because the license ended CRU. Before that, it was Zachary, as the only Star Trek related name my wife didn't veto. First I had Mary because my favorite teacher's name in school was Mary Carr. Then I had Ruby because it was red. Then I got a black Honda called Rhonda. Got an SUV and named it Big Betty. Currently have a Suzuki Vitara named Tara. Currently, I have a military green Renegade named Donatello. It reminds me of a turtle. My first car was a giant 1983 Oldsmobile Regency 98, we called it the Oldsmo Bubble, for its size and bubble of protection it provided. Dolly is an Audi, but named for her number plate. Fred and Ginger are a 6-wheel Ford Ranger Fred and a slide-on camper Ginger with electric legs. Everything Fred can do, Ginger can do, backwards and in high heels. Never named my first car, but with my second vehicle I decided I should name it. I got a little lazy and call it Pusaru Busaru. It's a 14 Subaru Crosstrek. Edit, sometimes I just call it Busy Boosie. Named my first Moon my ugly truck. It was a 12-year-old Ford Ranger and the black paint was wearing pretty thin. Our last SUV was named Purdy and the current one is Pongo, both white W black interiors. I have an old Buick that's quite literally falling apart, but it's always managed to get me where I'm going. It's survived through serious issues without exploding or killing me. Its name is Bertha, it fits. Part of my license plates include OPQ, so I just took it as shorthand for opaque and named my car that, and every car afterwards, with that license plate, shall be dubbed opaque, insert Roman numeral. Betty smelled like old ladies when we bought her. 1 Honda. Tickle, part of the plate was TKL. Big ol' blue estate car with OLB in the plate. Cot death blue car with cot in the plate. My car came with a name. I bought a beautiful '05 Mustang last year. 1 owner, super clean, lots of customization. Stenciled on the rear view mirrors Stella and paint that matches the exterior. Mildred. My old '66 Ford Falcon blew a hose upstate, so I left it outside a repair shop for a week. The window was open and it rained. When I got back into it and took a breath, Mildred got her name. My old car was a white '97 Barina hatch with all the might of 6 horses. Had to turn off the aircon for slight inclines. Depending on who was around, it was either called the lunchbox or the tampon. Embarrassed smiley face. Samurai Pinjo. It's been 50 years since I had a car named, but this was the first so named from college friends. The only other was my little kids ganging up to rib me the rattly old Jeep. When I was a college student, I named my car Elizabeth, or Liz. It was in honor of the manager who fought so hard to give me hours at my shitty job. She was awesome. I hope she's doing well now.